How you doing, everybody? This is Robert Rivera with Who's On First with another edition of Who's On First. And I got a special guest, buddy of mine. I went to Umpire School in 2003. Old friend. Geoffrey Lane. How you doing, Geoffrey? Introduce yourself.
Good, sir. My name's Geoffrey Lane. Started umpiring probably when I was 15 years old. Realized it was a different side of the ball game, and I actually enjoyed it very much. So I then pursued it as I got older, and then I went to umpire school, and then really ate a lot of humble pie. Thought I knew the game, but I didn't, and that's where we met. And then I've just been umpiring ever since. I've umpired in New Jersey, Delaware, Kansas, here in Texas, umpired in Florida when I was in college. It's a great game. It really is.
The reason Geoffrey's on is because he's one of my go-to guys when I have questions and stuff like that. And we have quite of a stir of a call being made on Facebook, and the comments that are coming in are just, it's a hoopla. And I love it. I love things like this because the guys that are umpire, we're not making fun of you guys. Trust me when we tell you, we don't know everything. Guys, don't take it wrong. But there was a call being made. I'm not sure what game it was. We have a short video clip of it. To summarize the video clip, the batter swung, missed the pitch. The catcher caught the ball and was throwing down to third base. As he threw, the ball struck the batter's bat as he was turning and went into dead ball territory. The umpire immediately screamed, "That's interference," and he's out. That's the end of the clip. We're not sure who's out. We're not sure if the batter's out, the runner is out. We're not sure. What'd you come up with, Jeff?
Well, what I came up with is based on the short video clip that I saw. Again, we're not there. We're getting this second hand, third hand, whatever it is. I don't think the batter did anything wrong. He did nothing on purpose to interfere with the catcher. And it is my understanding that the batter is protected because it was part of his natural swing, natural motion. He didn't step out to get in the way or anything like that. He swung and missed the pitch, and the catcher threw and hit the bat. Now, I believe we've also seen this in the majors. Now, when we've seen it in the majors, I think the few times that I saw it in the majors, there was nobody on base. So the catcher kind of played it off and was like, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. You okay?" Now, there was one time, I believe it happened in the majors, but the guy never swung. He just stayed in the box. And the catcher on the throwback, the ball went away, and then the runners advanced at their own peril. It's still a live ball. I don't think the batter did anything wrong. I believe I would not have called interference. I would have let the play finished out. Now, I thought about this, and there's a couple different things that could have happened. A, was it strike three? B, how many outs were there? If it's strike three, the batter's out, but that wasn't the case. The umpire called time. And the reason the umpire called time is because he then realized it was a live ball. If you're going to err on the side of safety and let the play out, you can always put runners back if you make a mistake. But if you're unsure of a ruling or whatever, let the play out. You can never anticipate who was going to score, who was going to advance or whatever, because the guy may went from first to second, but the guy that was on third may not have come home, may or may not have come home. So therefore, you really don't have anything. I would have let the play out, and then I would have called time, and I would have walked to my partner. And as I'm walking to my partner or partners, I probably would have replayed it in my head and say, "Did that just happen?"
I played devil's advocate with this, and I said the umpire was 100% right. That was his call. The floodgates opened.
Sure.
And the comments that were coming through, and it wasn't anything nasty. It's one of those situations where you poke the bear, whoop, and you just want to see what everything does. And I tell you, I got to pull it up on my phone. But some of the things that were coming through, I was just like, wow, let me see.
Not sure what I would have called on that one, but call him out when in doubt. By rule, using the rule book, what did he do? He didn't even lean over the plate. He didn't step out of the box. He didn't commit the swing, interference. What did he do? He's required to do something. He didn't make a mistake here. What's the other movement? What did he commit? I don't understand the interference.
And those are all valid questions. But see, that's like, I mean, you got to understand, umpires, we police the game. In order for you to get the call completely right, always let it play out.
Zip, 0, nothing. Give the catcher strike one the next time he's up to hit. That'll teach him for throwing the ball into the bat.
I was like, I like that one.
Yeah. Well, we also can't make up our own rules as we go.
I thought that was pretty hilarious. But as it was pointed out to me, this coming from a higher power than I can't mention the source, 6.03a, a batter is out for illegal action when he interferes with the catcher's fielding or throwing by stepping out of the box or making any other movement that hinders the catcher's play at home base. Comment, if batter strikes at a ball and misses and swings so hard that it carries the bat all the way around and the umpire's judgment intensely hits the catcher or the ball in back of him on a backswing, it shall be called a strike only, not interference. The ball is dead, however, and no runner should advance on the play. So there it is, guys. But you know what? It's one of those deals that we don't see every day. And this is stuff that we need to discuss. This is stuff that we need to put out there. And it's not about making fun of the umpire. He came out with a strong call. He said there's an interference. Here he's out, okay? And that's his call. Sometimes you have to give him the old boom, it's an out, it's an out, it's an out. Okay, so they don't come and question, are you sure it's an out? I only said it 3 times, and I said it very clearly.
If you're not learning every day on the baseball field, you're not trying.
You're not trying.
You can tell the umpires out there that have passion for the game versus the one that are out there because it's something to do.
Yeah.
And we always want to put ourselves in a position to learn. You know, I find it ironic that the better I umpire or the more emphatic I umpire, the more the kids try. Because if I'm into it, now the kids are into it. And the kids are, oh, Blue's into this game, let me step it up. And you would be surprised that I want to be on the field to bring out the best in the kids for the game. I don't care if it wins or loses. I'm not on either side. But I want to see baseball. I want to see what we call those whacker plays. And I'm on it and I'm selling it and I'm pushing it. The fans are going to be like, okay, you know, this guy's in it. You know, if I'm hustling, you know, if I'm running up third when I'm supposed to be, you know, I had a coach from the other team. It was like my 4th or 5th game that particular day or whatever. And I'm running up the sideline and he's like, attaboy, Blue. And he holds up his hand and like I'm supposed to give him a high five. And I'm like, come on, coach, I can't do that. I mean, it was only a 10U, 11U game. I'm like, come on, coach, I can't do that. That's kind of like showing. But no, for them to recognize, hey, attaboy, Blue, for getting out here. All right, I want to be in the best position to make the best call. And kudos for that. Whether he got it right or got it wrong, he sold the call. He sold the call. Now, I don't know. The video didn't really go on any further after that on if the coach, or we don't know that. But he was confident. He sold his call. And kudos to him for doing that. I mean, we all need to be like that. If I call a borderline strike, I want kids to turn around and ask me a question, a yes or no question. Is that the top of your zone? Yes. Is that the bottom of your zone? You know, wherever the pitch may be, is that as far out you're going to go today, Blue? Yes. Because guess what that does? That now keeps me in check. And that kid is being no disrespectful. A lot of people don't understand when these batters turn around and talk to the umpire, they're asking the umpire a yes or no question. Hey, where'd you have that? Especially on a strike 3 swinging. On a strike 3 swinging, you'll see them look back and they'll be like, was that out of the zone? And the umpire will say yes or no. You don't know the question they're asking.
Right.
Because the player wants to become better. The player wants to know where your zone is. So, I mean, a lot of people say don't ever talk to the umpire. No, you can talk to the umpire. Just do it with respect and do it and ask him a yes or no question. But that guy, he really sold his call. Like I said, whether he got it right or wrong, I think his intentions were good. You know, hopefully he learns from it.
Yeah. Well, we got another one that I was getting phone calls on, buddies of mine that were calling, hey, Rob, is this right? Is this right? So it turned out in the Mets game, they were appealing third base,
Okay.
and there was a runner at first. And the runner at first, when they went to do the appeal, took off, and he wound up being safe at second base. Then they
Okay.
tried to turn and make an appeal at third base. Third base umpire would not let them appeal.
No, you only got one shot at an appeal. And in fact, you know, my dad knew the game, and he wasn't an umpire, but he knew this trick. And it really wasn't a trick. You get one chance to appeal on a missed bag, a tag up, or anything like that. So in order to do that, my dad would like to create confusion and say, if they step off at appeal, you take off, and then see what they do. So if they would have just stuck with the play and went to third, now the appeal could be upheld, safe or out or whatever.
Right.
But see, because they made the play on the guy at second, that was their one-time appeal. They can't make a second appeal on that particular player.
That appeal. But here, let me ask you another question.
Sure.
This year, and you watch a lot of Major League Baseball like I do. This year, is it just me, or is there a lot of spicy player interaction with the umpires?
Well, you know, with the technology that we have and the players being mic'd up, I like it. But again, when you say spicy, are they bantering because they're both on a baseball field, or are they questioning about a call?
I'm seeing guys turning around. I saw one guy, he turned around at least 4 times at bat. And I'd never seen that before. Usually they one, maybe once, maybe twice at worst. But there was one guy, he really turned 4 times and was like, and get out of the box. And I'm like, man, what are you doing? Why are you so worried about what the umpire do? You're a professional here. Like, you know what? Let him do his thing. I'm going to do my thing here. I'm going to get my pitch and I'm going to rip it.
With the robo umpiring or whatever, I mean, with baseball getting as expensive it is to play as a kid, and the amount of money and time that is invested into it, I think the technology should go a long way with it. And I understand that we're not that you're taking the human element out of the game, but these guys work their butt off to get to where they're at. So when the higher level you go, you know, it's going to be challenging to get them all. Now, I say this, but I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, because at the major league level, you expect perfection. But at the tournament level, as far as select baseball goes, PG tournaments, USSSA, however you want to go to it, you're not going to get that, because you're not going to get that perfect strike zone day in and day out on a Saturday and a Sunday, because calling balls and strikes is an added activity to these umpires. Whereas the umpires we're seeing on TV, that is their bread and butter. That is what they do to know the book and call balls and strikes. So yes, they should be better at it, but I mean, let's use the technology that's there, you know. And I think it should almost be set up similar to what the NFL has, in saying, look, go until you get one wrong. Go until you're, you know, because if you're standing up for your players and saying, hey, I think you missed that one, whatever, I think you should still get him, as long as you're not taking advantage of the game.
It's also turning into a strategy thing. You know, do I challenge this call and maybe lose another challenge somewhere else? If I lose this challenge, I have no challenges until the 8th inning. So am I going to challenge a tight call at second base in the 3rd inning, or am I going to wait until the 6th or 7th inning to challenge a call? And it's turning the game, instead of a game, it's turning into how do you say, chess game. Well, baseball for me has always been like chess. Okay, but I'm equating it now to, remember when Spock played that other chess game that had like 4 or 5 levels of it on Star Trek? And I'm starting to see that's what you're doing. You're playing with, you're playing chess, but you're playing with 4 or 5 boards here. And if I put this guy up here, can I put him over here later? Or can I drop him back down here? I mean, it's just for me, it's turning into a bigger game of chess. And I can understand it. But on the other thing, you touched on something, the tournaments, these parents are paying a lot of money, and they're getting very frustrated. And not only with the umpires, but there's, and I just did a show and we talked about, they're losing 20% of their umpires at the end of the season, but they're gaining 40% of games the next year. What do you think about that?
Well, I like all your thought process and everything, but the challenge is not only are these parents and kids getting emotionally involved, but now they're getting financially involved. And when you start adding the emotions of finance, as well as the competitive nature and everything, at the end of the day, these coaches want consistency. I'm going to say that the coaches want consistency. If you're going to call a strike up at the shoulders, you better call a strike up at the shoulders both ways all game long. If you're going to call right below the kneecaps, you better call it both ways all day long. But the challenge is you're right. These parents are sitting in the stands. They're out there in the heat, rain, whatever it is, cold if it's a early morning dew, wet, whatever. You see them, they're all bundled up on the sideline. I've got 2-3 blankets on them with the thermos full of hot cocoa and everything else. And they're out there too. So they're investing their time to support their kid. Mm-hmm. And they're in there for that, and they're in there for the emotions. It wasn't until I became an adult that I learned that my parents really didn't care if I won or lost. All my parents really cared was what type of attitude and what type of effort did I put towards playing the game. Right. And baseball, as you know it, is, it's a game of failure. You're going to fail 70% of the time. Now, if I came home with a 30 on my test from school, that was a no-no. But somehow 30% on the baseball field at the plate batting average is acceptable. I mean, I don't know how you want to spin it or play it or, spin the numbers or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's how do you deal with adversity? How are you going to deal with striking out? Because the other reason why I love baseball, and I tell this to my kids, not everything is going to go your way. Not everything in life is going to go your way. You may walk out as an adult and you have a flat tire and you're like, oh, now I got to deal with this today. Okay, work the problem, call your boss or whatever. I'm sure you don't have a flat tire every day. I'm sure that you're not late all the time. Right. This is when you develop your reputation. How hard are you trying to do the right thing? But I don't want to get off topic, but I just wish that I would have learned that at a younger age. How did I deal with striking out? Did I feel sorry for myself? Am I going to pick myself back up and get over? And look, that's the fight that these parents are looking for in their own kids. And you don't have to love baseball to play it, but you have to do it when the opportunity is given to you. And I tell this to my kids all the time. I wish I was a better student. I wish I would have taken advantage of the opportunities that were given to me.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was just listening to a guy, Inky Johnson. It's a guy that I started listening to a couple months ago, and he said, let's forget about the end result. Let's forget about the conclusion. Let's forget about the end of the road there. He's like, a couple things I want you to ask yourself. Why are you doing this? Why? What is your goal? And trust the process. Do what you have to do here. And then once you get to the end, this is where I want it to be. If you worry about how do I start and where I want to be, and don't worry about all the stuff in the middle, you're never going to get anywhere. How do I start? I don't know how to start. I don't know where I want. And it happened to this show right here, right now. This show should have been done 6 years ago, 7 years ago when I talked about it. And it's only been a year. And my son told me, well, Dad, just shut up and hit record. I say it all the time. He goes, just shut up and hit record. And I was just like, yeah, but I needed this, and I need a mic, and he goes, you don't need anything. Turn your phone on, hit record, and shut up. And I was just like, wow. And here we are.
Yeah.
So I mean, trust the process and trust in yourself, believe in yourself that you will reach that finish line, you will reach the end. And at the end, whether you win or lose, the process is what the most important part. You know what, for umpires, for you umpires, you young guys out there, you need more stuff like this. Don't think we're making fun of you. Trust the process, make the mistakes, talk about it, get with other umpires. I always try to umpire with somebody that was better than me. So
Sure.
I umpired up. I umpired with those guys who did the high school championship games. I umpired the guys that did the super regionals in college. I wanted to umpire with those guys. And a lot of them are going, I really want to umpire with you. But I'm going to prove to them. I said, give me one game and I'll prove to them I'm a good umpire and I'm going to be out there. I'm a good partner. I'm a good partner. And after a while, the guys are like, yeah, you know what? I want Rob. I want Rob. He's not the best guy. He's not the best guy. But he hustles. He listens to me. And we get the job done. So you got your kids over there. Who's that? Let me see. Where they at? I know they wanted to get in there. Where was it? Mr. Orange, yellow shirt over there, green shirt. Where you at?
Come here. Gordon is in the blue shirt.
Blue shirt. What's up? How you doing?
Good. When I was in Florida, I actually met up with him to go have dinner one time. When I was driving, we went up and I met up with him. He wasn't very far. And actually, we went out to dinner. He picked me up and whatever. But I went to umpire school with him 20 years ago.
19 years ago. 18 years ago. 18 years ago.
Was it when it was 2002, right?
2003.
2003.
2003.
Umpire school.
2003.
And met him. And this one is Gavin.
Hey, see, where is he at? There he is. What's going on, big guy?
Hi, Mr. Rob.
How you doing? Let me see. What's your favorite dessert?
I'm more of an ice cream guy.
A what?
Ice cream guy.
Ice cream guy. Let me guess. Your favorite ice cream is chocolate.
Oh.
No.
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. All right. That was my next guess.
My brother doesn't really like chocolate.
He doesn't like chocolate?
The worst ice cream flavor.
So what do you like? Vanilla? You're a straight vanilla guy?
Vanilla and cream.
Vanilla and cream?
Chocolate chip cookie dough too.
No.
Chocolate chip cookie.
What happened to DQ?
I'm talking EQ and I threw up after.
Oh, I must have been on the road for that one. I'm glad I was on the road for that one. But actually, Gavin, my younger one, he loves fruit. He'll eat the heck out of fruit.
Wow. You like a
Strawberry.
watermelon strawberry guy. Is that you?
I like all fruit except for peaches. Peaches are the worst.
Peaches are the worst.
But this one's going to play football next year, so
I'm actually.
There you go.
this edited. I'll have him sit down and watch it.
Jeff, you wound up like me. My kids didn't want to do anything with baseball. Mitchell played 1 year. He got pelted, and then he was done with baseball, and he became the swimmer. And then Angela did soccer for a little bit. But it's all right. It's all about effort and passion. But guys, hey, listen, this is what I'm going to do. You guys are going to do my outro, all right? So when I point to you, boom, you're going to say, keep swinging. Here's Geoffrey, here's his family. And they don't play baseball, but it's all right. Like we said, keep the effort, keep striving, trust the process. It'll get you to that end result. And as we always say here on Who's On First, what do we say, guys?
Keep swinging.
All right, thank you. If you like the show, please do me a favor. Subscribe, right? You see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?